In today's video, we're taking 5 classic, iconic Football Manager and Championship Manager Wonderkids from yonder years and recreating them in FM24. We're going to go and simulate their careers, but in the modern era, and see, are they as good as they used to be? Because blimey, they were good back in the day. Okay, welcome back to the channel. You'll notice that I was using the word we a lot in that introduction, and that is because it's not just me today. I'm going to be joined by the absolute authority when it comes to retro Football Manager stuff, and I just thought the most expert person that I could include in a video like this, and that is of course the Mad Scientist FM. How are you, my friend?
Appreciate the kind words, mate, and I'm doing very well. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm very good. I'm excited to recreate some of these Wonderkids from yesteryear. You've got experience in this regard, so I guess we're going to lean on you a little bit for what is it about these players that made them so good back in the day, and what are we expecting to see in the game in FM24. Before we get into it, I feel like we need to say who those 5 Wonderkids are. We've gone for, on the screen right now, you can see them. These 5, they're actually, 4 of them are from Championship Manager 0102, which I think might just be the most legendary Championship Manager game ever. Would you agree?
I would agree, definitely. And so will a lot of other people, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. They are then. So the 4 that are from Champ Man 0102, Mark Kerr, Tomadera, Cherno Samba, and Maxim Sigalko. And then I think Andriy Sigporsson was actually pretty good on 0102 as well, wasn't he? But he was more of a Wonderkid back on 99-2000. These are our 5 players. They have been recreated to hopefully go and have the same sort of impact, but in this year's game. 2 questions. Out of these 5, who is the one that you're expecting to become the best? And then bonus question, who is your favourite ever Wonderkid?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think these 5 are some of the most famous Championship Manager Wonderkid legends in their own rights. And I would throw in, I think Mark Kerr hold up a special place in my heart because I always signed him. If I was Barcelona, I signed him. If I was Tranmere, I signed him. Wherever I managed, I signed Mark Kerr. He was an instant winner every time. I would throw in one extra Wonderkid name of my own personal favorite, Sherman Cardenas.
Oh,
remember that name?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I did a video it's about a week ago now, where I did one Wonderkid from every version, every edition of Championship Manager or Football Manager. So many people, I didn't include Sherman, but so many people were leaving him as a comment as well. And it like some of the editions of FM had so many Wonderkids, and some of them it was really tricky to choose one that really stood out. But for example, 0102, there's more on top of this that you could choose as well. But yeah, I can absolutely get on board with Cardenas as well. He was great, wasn't he? So we're expecting Mark Kerr, you reckon, out of these 5 to go on to be the best? Do you reckon?
Actually, maybe I would say, I mean, back then on Championship Manager, the average attribute, the average current abilities were a bit lower than nowadays. But on the other side, the attributes were much higher than nowadays, though much more generous with the 20s, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I would say Cherno Samba is 15 years old. Yeah. And he'll actually be, that's the one I would go for.
You reckon Cherno Samba, because he's got the age on his side to actually go and become even better, perhaps?
To reach his potential,
Yeah, the potential in there. I'm just going to go through them now, just so you guys watching can see how good they are. Obviously, we've got an idea of how good these are going to be. During recreating them. So here's Andriy Sigporsson. This is what you mentioned, where there's a lot of 20s. They've been very generous back in the day, weren't they? He's got a load of 20s, but he is 22, so maybe we're not expecting him to grow as much. He was a lethal striker, though, Sigporsson. Mark Kerr, we touched upon. He is 19 at this stage. 20 determination. But hard-working midfielder described as. 19 means he can grow. He's actually wanted already by some pretty big teams. United, Newcastle, Spurs, looking at him. Then we've got Cherno Samba. Biggest growth potential, you'd say, for him at 15 years old. I'm assuming this photo that I've put into the game for him is not when he was 15. But he's already got some great... I mean, if you picked up a Wonderkid or through your youth intake that had these physicals, you'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
And then finally, a couple. Tomadera. I love the story behind Tomadera. The fact that he's not real, I think it just makes him even more legendary, like in these circles, isn't it? I've put like a photo in that was used on one of the websites that isn't even a real photo. But yeah, a hilarious story. Do you know where that even came from? Like how that originated?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it was, but I do remember reading an article from one of the producers of the game, who talked about he used like some, what's it now? He used some family members or whatever it was to assemble this kind of character that he wanted
Yeah.
to add to the game, because they did that back in the day. They did add some of the production members to the actual game as
Yeah.
players. But it's an
Yeah.
incredible story with Toe Madera.
Yeah, I think the one that I read as well was something like it was they used to just throw in these cheap players because they could, and just to see if people would find them. And it was like the Portuguese researcher, and it was based on they'd been told to go to Madeira in Portugal as part of it, and that's where the name came from. So yeah, great
Brilliant.
stories. He looks insane as well. He's already got 19 finishing here, 20 free kick taking, 20 corners. I remember him having 20, the set pieces being a big one for him. He used to score so many because of that back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then finally, really real legend status here. Maxim Sigalko, the last one, 22 years old. They're all about that age as they've been recreated here. So maybe not loads of growth, except maybe Samba and maybe Mark Kerr, but they're going to still improve from here. 20 finishing already, the Belarusian striker. Shall we?
Scored like,
go on.
Chicago, he could score like 100 goals in one season on Championship Manager back in the day.
Yeah, easily. The fact that you could actually pair these up together on the same game and have Mark Kerr in behind, like you could build a super team for so cheap. And it was just actually, I was like, why don't they do that type of thing now? It's because the realism is so high up the list of priorities, but it was just fun. It was just so fun, wasn't it, doing that back in the day? Should we go and find out where these players, I should mention as well, we started them as free transfers, as you can see from here. Should we go and find out which teams they signed for by going to the end of the transfer window?
Yes, please.
I'm going to have to actually jump in here to say a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Full Time Prints. Have a look at this beauty here. This is the Champions League Final 2005 lineup, memorialised forever. Thank you to the good people at Full Time Prints. You can go and remember and memorialise your favourite football moments by getting a print like this one. You can even, and I really wanted to point this one out to you guys, you can even do custom requests, and maybe you can go and memorialise your favourite football manager lineups or favourite football manager wins. Maybe you've won the Champions League with Bradford, for example. Go and hit these guys up with the link that is in the description of today's video and get yourself a brilliant souvenir or bit of decoration for your office at home. Again, that link is in the description, and honestly, they do a great job. Go and check them out. Okay, we've gone, as you can see, 1st of September now in this first season, and they've all got clubs, which is a bit of it's nice to see, because it was a bit of a worry that if they didn't have the reputation required, they wouldn't get a team and then they might just go and retire. They've all got clubs, and it's a real mix of teams, actually. We've got Andrew Sigporsson has gone to Shandong Taishan, I'm assuming in China. We've got Mark Kerr's gone to Arsenal. Tomadera to Leipzig. There's Shandong Taishan I've clicked on. Tomadera to Leipzig. Cherno Samba to Brentford. He's still a youth player. And then Maxim Sigalko has gone to Arsenal Zhernynsk, which is in Belarus, which kind of figures, actually. Any big surprises from you out of these clubs that they've gone to?
I would say Mark Kerr already have a leg up somehow signing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
If he gets some playing time in that team, I mean, his ability will skyrocket, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. His value is already up to 17 million to 51. Tomadera's value is actually skyrocketed as well. Obviously, they're in big reputation leagues.
Oh, yeah.
Cherno Samba's valued at 25 million to 75 million at 15 years old. He might end up being quite special in this. I just want to see, has Mark Kerr actually been playing then? Has he made his debut? He has played. No, he hasn't. I mean, on here, he's got 32 games for Falkirk in 2001, and then his next team was Arsenal in 2023. So I think this is because he's in the game as a staff member, I think, is why that's happened.
Yeah, yes.
Anyway, yeah, so no debut from him. I'm assuming that actually we should probably have a look at the other ones too, because they may have played games. Yeah, there we go. Andrew Sigporsson has actually played 4 times for Shandong and scored 5 goals in those 4 games already in the Chinese Super League. So we've got debuts being made. Tomadera, Has he played for Leipzig yet? Not yet. Although, actually, one cup appearance off the bench and did score. So, yeah, I suppose he has. Good start from him. And then Cherno Samba, I suppose not. No, nothing from him yet. Maxim Sigalko, I'd expect him to be playing in Belarus. Yeah, 2 games, 1 goal from him. So, what we want to see now is at the end of this first season, which is where we're going to go to next, how are they settling in? They could even move again in the January, I suppose. Are they going to be scoring goals? Because they are all goal scorers, with Mark Kerr being the exception, I suppose.
Yeah, and will Sigalko go to a top division in Europe?
Yeah. I think we'd kind of be looking for that. Both Sigporsson and Sigalko, we want them to make that move to Europe, really, don't we? And really establish themselves. Let's go find out. Okay, end of their first seasons, and straight away on the screen. Is there anything that jumps out to you from what you're noticing by looking at where the players are? Anything that jumps out?
Firstly, I noticed that Mark Kerr has been put up for loan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe not a bad idea still. He is described as a wonder kid.
Yeah, he's got the wonder kid tag now, nice.
A couple of games already for the first team.
Yeah.
Arsenal. Yeah.
They've won the Under-21 Premier Division Cup as well. So he's getting games in that Under-21 team and also then breaking into the first team every now and then. Mostly as a sub. Yeah, 6 sub-league appearances. So maybe breaking in. It's kind of, he's 20, so it's kind of late to be breaking in. But also because they've got the established team there. It's Arsenal, so it's not going to be easy anyway, is it? That is what I noticed as well, actually, on there. I also noticed that none of them did make the move in January. So they are all still at their first teams. Although Sigporsson is wanted. We said this. Have you seen who he's wanted by? It's Everton, West Ham, Monaco, and Bayer Leverkusen. There's some really fun teams that he could end up going to there.
Coming to Europe.
Yeah, coming to Europe. How did he do in terms of goals? He got 9 in 17 in the Chinese league. That's actually less games than I expected. Only 10. Oh, it's actually gone over to I think there was the end of their season. So they were a slightly different timetable, aren't they? So 7 games first season, then 10 games in the next season. And he scored a few goals, 9 in 17 in total. So sort of establishing himself. Mark Kerr we looked at. Tone Madeira has played 16 and scored 3 goals, but it's only 5 starts. So 3 goals in 5 starts. Again, sort of just establishing himself at the moment. I'm looking at his profile though. Are you a bit surprised looking at his attributes that he hasn't got more games?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. He's still adapting to life in Germany, it seems like. But if his composure were a little bit higher, he would be absolutely amazing. He's
kind of like, the composure's way down at 6. He's like got 20s or 7 in most of the attributes, doesn't he? Yeah, so maybe he needs those to develop. Do you reckon they will? As someone who creates databases like this and knowing how potential works, do you think he will fill in a few of these gaps, or do you think he's going to be patchy like this forever now?
They all these 5 players have enormous potential. So everything is possible, I would say. They could still skyrocket. But for especially Tone Madeira and for Maxim Sigalko, when I added them to the game, copying all the information from Championship Manager 0102.
Yeah.
They only had key attributes. So 20 finishing, but zeros in a lot of other attributes, which will leave them to random.
Yeah.
That's probably why composure is 6. But I think it could skyrocket if he gets enough playing time, definitely.
Yeah, I think we should keep an eye on it. He's got these a few games for Leipzig. Let's keep an eye on that and kind of use that as a bit of an experiment to see how these things can change throughout the years. Because at 23, it's not like you're expecting huge growth, but because of that potential being so high, it still could be huge growth, basically, isn't it?
We got that late developer description now in FM, right?
This is true. So maybe we can keep an eye out for that one in this one too. Let's have a look at Cherno Samba. We talked about his physicals before. They've gone to another level as well. He's also got 3 composure. So that's another one that is really low. This is why when people go, no, actually, when I did that video, which was showing all of the Wonder Kids, people were saying, no, mine was way better than that. I was like, yeah, because they were random, because they didn't have attributes put in for those particular ones, did they? So whichever one you got in your game, you could have had the best player in the world or someone who had 3 composure, like Cherno Samba here. He's not yet made his debut. They've won the Under 18s Youth Alliance Cup though, so he's got that going for him at least. He's still so young.
He's got goals
though.
for the youth team. Yeah.
He is, yeah, that's true.
My high hope for this simulation.
Yeah, 13 goals in 23 games. So hopefully he keeps bagging those and can improve. And then Sigalko, with that composure, very similar story to Tomadera, I think. He's got 13 in 25 over the course of these 2 seasons that we've looked at here. I think we should just go again. Let's go another season, or in fact, let's go a whole chunk further in the future and just drop in again on these players and their careers and find out what they've been up to.
Oh yeah, just wanted to add quickly, Clayts, that I noticed that only 1 of the 5 subjects have been capped by the national team by now.
Ah, interesting. Is it? I was expecting it to be Sigalko. It's not. It's Mark Kerr? No. Sig Poulsen? Sig Poulsen's got 4 caps. Interesting. That you would think that maybe Sigalko could get into that Belarus team, but I guess he's not. Maybe it's his reputation at the moment or something.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, it's going to be hard for Tomadera, and Samba's only 16, but any of the other 3 you'd think would be getting into that team at some point. Let's find out if they do by going a bit of a chunk forward and dropping in again. Okay, we have jumped all the way forward to 2029 now, and there's going to be a lot to unpack here. So if we miss things, please leave the comments down below, because you are so good at that in the YouTube comments at saying you completely missed this, and I know I missed stuff. On the screen right now, though, there is a lot to unpack straight away, because I think all but 2 of them have been on the move, and they've made moves to pretty big teams. What stands out for you?
Actually, Mark Kerr is still at Arsenal. Very loyal. That's also good to see.
He is loyal, yeah.
Yeah. But Sig Poulsen at Chelsea.
Yeah. And have you noticed?
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. They've allocated one of their ESC places, the work permit places, to bring him in as well, which is maybe they rate him highly to make sure that he's, he goes in there. Oh, I've just clicked on his profile. Have you clicked in to see where he's been in these past? I think we've done, 6 years we've gone forward here. He's had a really interesting career so far, especially sort of a backwards career. He's gone to China early as a youngster. Then he's gone to Saudi Arabia with Al Qadsiya for £10.5 million. He scored a bucket load of goals over the course of 4 seasons there. And now he's made a big move to the Premier League. He's done the career backwards, right?
Absolutely. But showing immediate impact at Chelsea. So he's reached some kind of level, definitely. Yeah,
for sure. If we look at that profile now, I'm not sure he was quite as patchy as some of the other ones, but he's filled in a lot of those areas that would have been weaknesses before. He's got amazing physicals. Look at those. And then only 12 finishing still, but we know that that's not the be all and the end all at all, is it? 20 flares, quite fun from him. He is, described as a pacey goal scorer. He's 28 now, 50 caps for Iceland. He looks the real deal. And I actually think he might continue to get better, because we've got a few more years of him at the top, I reckon, from here.
And could you imagine playing him as a pressing forward? Bravery, determination, teamwork, and work rate. Holy smokes! Yeah,
not just those things, but like 19s in basically all of those, or 20s, right? Yeah, wow. He's not even short either. Annoyingly, he's only got that 9 jumping reach, which maybe you could expect a bit more. He is 6 foot as well, but that's what I would be looking for with most of my strikers. But he 19 dribbling, 17 free kick taking. Can't take a penalty to save his life. So all of these goals probably not coming from pens either, you'd imagine, because he's only got 9 for that. Let's let's have a quick check. In fact, if I want to go to his milestones, I want to just see if he's won anything. I guess he's not been in England, so there's not things that we'll be looking for. Not really, as I'm looking at it. He's been named in the Iceland seasonal best 11 basically every year. So he's got those 50 caps for them. Not loads else. He's on £220,000 per week, by the way. So he is earning some decent money at this stage as well. That's Sig Poulsen. Should we have a look at the next one? This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Tomadera.
Yes, as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll let you lead on Tomadera. If you open up his profile, what jumps out to you?
Oh, yeah. So we talked about composure last time, right?
Yeah.
It's doubled now. It's gone from 6 up to a 12.
Yeah, that's what I noticed first of all as well. That's a huge jump, really, in 6 seasons.
Makes a significant difference for him as a striker, as a finisher.
Yeah, he's he looks. This might be understating it a little bit. He looks quite good, doesn't he? I actually think he doesn't look like outrageously good. He's got obviously those outrageous attributes in certain places, that like the corners and the finishing and things like that. I would prefer Sigporsson at this stage. Would you agree?
Maybe, yeah. I would say, yeah, because it's about key attributes for Madeira compared to Sigporsson. Sigporsson, he's more complete, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Although
Madeira is described as an elite striker. We all know that's quality.
That is true. He's actually, I mean, the difference between 12 finishing and 19 finishing, I said it's not the be all and the end all, but actually that is a big difference, isn't it? The 19 technique as well. You think if he gets a chance, he scores it, doesn't he? The goal scoring record is pretty good. He hasn't been as clinical. He's playing in a better league than Sigporsson was when he's playing in Saudi Arabia, but his goal scoring has been consistent without being stupidly good, I would say. He's got like 15s and 16s in most seasons, which is nice. It's a good career he's carving out, and he's actually I want you to find it out. Hover over who he's wanted by.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, so
I want to see that happen, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully on the next time we drop in, he's made a big move to Barcelona. And I mean, his value's 43 to 130. We could be looking at, what, a 80, 90 million pound transfer to Barcelona. That would be nice. He's also got 50 caps. That's fun, isn't it? Both of these two. We talked about whether he was going to get caps. He's got those 50 caps for Portugal now. That's cool.
He's actually catched up with Sigporsson.
Yeah, exactly.
Cap-wise, yeah.
Yeah, let's all right, let me quickly look. I want to keep an eye out for any individual honours that they might pick up. I don't think any of them are going to be looking at Ballon d'Or levels, to be honest, but I do want to keep an eye out just in case they get up there. He's got like German Footballer of the Year runners up, top goal scorer, third place. He did get the 2028 29 German Footballer of the Year, so he is winning things, but I would say not quite those big awards yet. And I don't suppose Leipzig have been winning things like the Bundesliga, although I will check. Do you know what? They've finished second and third most seasons. He's been really unlucky not to win one, I think. They've finished second on about five different occasions. So he's led them to a really competitive place, but they've not quite won the league. Thomas Tuchel is the manager there. He's the captain as well, is Tomadiri. I think he's got 20 leadership, isn't he? So that would make sense. Yeah, so
he was appointed as Portugal vice captain as well.
Ah, there you go then. So he'll want to take that one on as become the actual captain at some point, you would imagine. He probably would if he makes the move to Barcelona as well, wouldn't he? Let's look at Mark Kerr.
Yeah.
Mark Kerr, still at Arsenal, as you mentioned, very loyal, looking very solid as a midfielder, I would describe him. Only 5 caps for Scotland, but has scored 4 goals in that time. I've just seen something that he's managed to achieve in terms of winning things, though. Have you noticed it?
No, but I noticed that they have learned him a new player role. No, a new player position.
Oh, I've not known. Oh, yeah, playing centre back and striker. Yeah, he's actually
why he scored 4 goals.
That's really interesting. He's accomplished as a striker. They must have played him there loads for him to get to that point. He's still only got 9 finishing, but again, I've mentioned it before, it's definitely not the be all and end all, and he can score goals, it would appear. He's got 14 in 103 for Arsenal. The thing that I was going to mention is that this most recent season, Arsenal won the Champions League, so he's a Champions League winner. He's also, I've just gone on his milestones, he also broke the record, the Scotland record for the fastest goal. He scored after 17 seconds against Estonia.
Mark. There we go.
Mark. Which was also his first international goal, and he got it after 17 seconds there. He's probably playing as a striker to achieve that, isn't he? Did he?
I think so.
He runners up in the Champions League before, a Carabao Cup, nothing as significant as winning that Champions League. That is the best that any player has done in terms of winning things out of our players today, isn't it? Let's have a look at Sigalko, who is transfer listed at the moment at Stuttgart on loan. Oh, look, on loan from Bayern Munich.
Oh,
okay. He's also Bundesliga champion in this most recent season. Did Stuttgart win the league, or is that with Bayern? Because it's with Bayern. So he's been given the win there, although I'm not quite sure it's going to count because he was out on loan during that. But what do you think of when you see his profile here?
Oh, he looks amazing. He does look amazing. And his goal tally for Belarusia is up there as well.
Oh yeah, 20 and 39. Yeah, decent.
Yeah.
He's he does look really good. He's I mean, he's up to 13 composure now, and that was pretty low before. He's got like good pace acceleration. The 20 finishing is just outrageously good. He looks like he hasn't quite hit the heights that he could have done, though. He got a big move to Bayern, 26.5 million. He got a free transfer before that to Köln in the Bundesliga, where he played, like, he's only actually, his best ever goal scoring record in a season is 13 for the Belarusian team Arsenal. And then since then, he's got 6-6, 1-0, 2, and then he's on this loan. Maybe he's only just gone on this loan, which is why he did get that Bundesliga champion tag there, because it looks like he hasn't played any games yet for Stuttgart. So maybe he was a champion. Maybe we can give that one to him. I'm hoping for a little bit more improvement from him, even though his profile to me looks really good, but he hasn't necessarily backed it up yet.
A bit more stability, getting some more playing time. It seems like he's a fringe player at Bayern, obviously.
Yeah. Hence why they've decided to loan him out. Let's move on to your big hope, Cherno Samba. He's now 21. He is playing. Well, he's still at Brentford, so he is in the Premier League, I assume. I mean, look at those physicals. They've all pretty much gone into the greens now. 14 finishing is up there. Composure's up to 10. 7 vision, 9 passing. He's played in the Premier League. He's made his debut. Not really done loads yet, though. 1 goal so far. He's actually got a couple of cup goals as well.
Worried. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried, to be honest. He's 21 years old now. He should just have gotten a lot more playing time at this point of time. It's not over yet for him, but
yeah,
they got to give him some playing time in the Prem.
You'd almost imagine that they would. I'm a bit surprised that they're not. I know that there are gaps in his profile here, but surely with a player with these physicals, you just put him on the pitch and tell him to run, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so he's 21. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and take another big jump into the future mainly to see how Cherno Samba does, but also towards the end of some of these players. Sigalko, Tomadera and Sigporson are all 28. Mark Kerr's 25. We're going to go into the 30s for a couple of those and find out what becomes of them. I have loaded up now. We're in 2035, and I'm having a look at the players. We've got the 34, Tomadera, Sigporson and Sigalko, and Samba is now 27. I'm looking at there's some changes of teams going on here as well. Let's start with Samba, because I feel like that's the one that we've just had a little bit of an interest in. He's now 27. He is still at Brentford. He has made his England debut after those 20 odd caps for the under 21s. He's actually been playing a lot of games for Brentford now. So actually, he has sort of come good here, I think, without ever maybe reaching the heights and going to one of those big European teams. I've actually just noticed he's played 152 games for Brentford, scored 35 goals. So he's been a really solid striker for them, and I think maybe had his best ever season here. Have you seen how he's done in this last season? 20 goals in 44. So do you reckon he's turning into the player that he could become?
Much more like it this season, definitely. But I mean, it's also a little bit difficult because us who remember Cherno Samba from the Championship Manager days, he just went bonkers, right? Scoring goals left and right. So we are not going to achieve those kind of levels on Football Manager. But it's quite interesting to see. Yeah, he stuck around at Brentford, being very loyal and starting to peak here at the age of 27.
Yeah, I think we're coming to the end of the other players' careers, but maybe we'll be left thinking that Samba could still go and improve a little bit from this point on here. Are you surprised? I would this is a player that if I found him for about, let's say it's the lower end of his transfer value range there, 30 million, that's a player that I would probably go and sign. What are you surprised that he's not at a bigger team at this stage?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I will agree with you on that. He looks very interesting with these current attributes, definitely, and with that value. So, reason why he's stayed around at Brentford is quite interesting. If there's been any offers in, we don't know over the years, obviously.
Yeah, maybe they've turned down some over the years, but he's also a full England international at this stage with these physicals. Yeah, seems an interesting one that he hasn't managed to get that big move or played or scored more goals even, to be honest. I don't know if Brentford have been very good. Have they been in the Prem for this time? I'm just going to check their history. They've been solid. They've been 14, 15. They've been very Brentford, to be honest. They did finish up in 8th, 9th, 8th being the highest. So they've just been very safely Premier League, to be honest.
Do they still have a Danish manager?
Yeah.
Can I blame the Danish manager?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Although actually, Ruben Amorim is now the manager in the game, so they have swapped. They've changed him. So there is that. Let's have a look at some of these older players. Let's go by age. Let's go to Mark Kurd next. He's 31, still at Arsenal. He's solid. He's now listed or described as a world-class midfielder. He's actually played 250 games for Arsenal. He's had a really good season, isn't it? A really good career at this stage, I think you'd say.
Absolutely. Especially that 32-33 season. They must have played him as a striker on that season. 18 goals.
Oh, yeah. I've just loaded that in. He must be going in as a striker. I wish I could go on his... can I go on form? Will that show me now? If I could go onto his development and see the form on there.
Oh, yeah.
You can see how many games he's playing. Oh, then here you go. If you go into development tactics, he's played 41 games as a striker in this most recent season, 3 in centre mid. They have fully converted him to a striker.
I mean, that's a little bit shocking, to be honest.
Yeah, that is really interesting. It's not something you expect the AI to actually do all that much, but they've seen his attributes and thought he's not a midfielder, he's a striker, and just gone and done it and then actually used him there. I love the fact that actually happens.
Me as well, definitely.
Okay, that is
professional. That's just Mark in a nutshell, I would say.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. 350k a week, you've earned that, Mark, by all of those goals, and he's still described as a world-class midfielder despite playing as a striker still, but we'll let him off for that. 12 goals for Scotland, a really solid career. I'm going to go on milestones just to see. Has he won? He got the 2033 Club World Championship top goal scorer. He won the Champions League Golden Boot in 2033-34.
Oh my God.
Won the Carabao Cup. He won the Champions League. Is that a game? No, that was the Champions League we looked at before. Did win the Super Cup after that. That's mainly it though. I was going to say, did he win anything with Scotland? But maybe that is being a little bit fanciful in thinking. I don't think they've won anything, have they? He's had a good career. I'm proud of you, Mark. Well done. And I'm glad that you've become a striker. And the fact that he's become a striker and also clearly played games as a centre-back as well, because he's got makeshift familiarity there too.
Very versatile. Another thing I've noticed both with him and Samba, as we have looked at for now, is the player traits that's been added to them over the years as well.
He has. He's picked up quite a lot. He's got some attacker ones, gets into opposition area, but also dives into tackles as well. Yeah, that is an interesting one. Let's go to our old men by this stage. That is really, you can't call a 34-year-old an old man. I'm really sorry for that. But the older of the statesmen of our Wonder Kids today. Let's go to Toe Madeira, who's now 34, still at Leipzig. I'm a bit surprised that he stayed there this whole time, but he's built himself a legacy. I would guess that he's going down as an icon or a legend or at least favoured personnel at this stage. He is. Actually, I'm not sure he is. I don't know if he's made the list. He's played 349 games or something.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe it's not updated. He's played 327 games and scored 149 goals. And I've just seen this. They've been Bundesliga champions for 3 years out of the last 4 years. So they were second for all of those years. They won 3 in a row, then they came second, and then they've won one recently. So they've become the best team in Germany at this stage, and I would wager that Toe Madeira is quite important in doing that as well. He is their captain. Nagelsmann's the manager. Looking at his profile, I mean, he started to drop off maybe in physicals, but he's still so good at 34.
Definitely.
He's
and they're very, very loyal, these lads we have used for this.
I wasn't expecting that. We had all of those moves early from, who was it who went to China and then back again? Sig Poulsen has maybe the only one who's moved around really. But very loyal.
Was it Barcelona who was interested? Was that Madeira or Tsigalco? Was that Madeira? Yeah.
That was Madeira, and he stayed. So he's clearly seen that they could go and win the league in Germany and decided to stay. Maybe he could have won a Champions League though if he went there, which he's not won a Champions League, and he's not like the other ones. No one's really got close to that Ballon d'Or. Maybe before we finish, we'll go and check the Ballon d'Or winners to see if there's any third place on there. But I think we'd see it on there as well, wouldn't we? So no, he stayed at Leipzig, very loyal, and his value's back down now. Maybe when's his contract run out? He's got a year left on that contract as well, so it might be that that's the end of it after that. I'm
Done quite well for Portugal as well.
He has, yeah, 53 goals, 117 caps as well. Is very, very solid. If you remember, he didn't make his debut until after the other ones, did he, as well? So, yeah, no, very good. He's become a legendary striker, as he's described here, and he is a legendary striker because he's not real. I want to look at this next one here, because this is the one who's not loyal, like the other ones. Andriy Sigporsson is now at oh, my word, I've just seen it as well. Go to his career history and have a look at where look at these moves that he's made.
Wow.
I love it. He's gone from, so we saw him at Chelsea where he's done great actually. He has been maybe the most prolific of the goal scorers up to a point, and then sort of fallen off a cliff for a few years, but then gone to Saudi Arabia and recaptured that goal scoring form. Didn't do great at Real Madrid, which is where he moved for 68 million. Didn't score loads of goals. I'm not sure he was ever really a starter. Now I'm looking. His final season there, he started 20 games in the league, got 9 goals. That's decent. Was a sub before that, but did have good average ratings. Gone to Saudi now and got loads of goals too. He's gone back to Saudi Arabia where he's had 2 spells now. The least loyal, but if you look at his profile, he looks so good.
Wow. He certainly does.
Yeah.
Wow, his mental attributes.
Mm-hmm. Have you also noticed his wages? He's on £775,000 per week. He's maybe one that maybe got a bit closer to winning individual awards. He won the Champions League. He won the league with Real Madrid. He won the league the year before that as well. There's no Ballon d'Ors though. Is there any other individual awards? No. I did wonder, because he ended up at Real Madrid and because of the goals that he'd scored, maybe he could get close, but I guess not. At 34 now, I don't think he will. Did get loads of caps for Iceland. Had a very good record for Iceland, actually. 58 and 107. And he's made the most of his career. He's earned his money, hasn't he, in his career?
Definitely. Most definitely.
That leaves us with one man to look at, and that is Maxim Sigalko, who clearly has made a move as well. He's now playing in the Premier League with Aston Villa. He's actually been there and played loads of games for them. He's 34. He's got no value, which I assume is because he's going out of contract, or he's out of contract at this stage. Yeah, he's literally in 9 days, his contract expires. I wonder if that'll be the end of his career from there. His pace has dropped off maybe a little bit. Posture's up to 14. Actually made a really good move. He went on loan to Villa, look. And then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then got the permanent move there for 38.5 mil. Scored a fair few goals and played a lot of games for Villa. Ends up with 307 games, 106 goals in his career. I mean, you could get 106 goals in one season back on Championship Manager, so maybe not those heights. Point, yeah. But a solid career, I'd say, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good to see him come to the Prem and doing quite well for Aston Villa, especially in that 31-32 season with 18 goals.
Yeah. Yeah, 19 all comps. I'm glad that we managed to see him come back to the Prem and actually establish himself at a club. I'll just check his individual ones. He's been appointed the vice captain at Belarus. He did win there was that Bundesliga win. He got 2 Bundesliga wins with Bayern Munich. And that's kind of it for him. He just gets in the Belarus seasonal best 11 every season. Okay. I feel like there's probably one more jump forward that we could do. We'll probably go and just see whether this was the end of the career, really, for players like Sigalko and Madeira and Sigporsson, and maybe one more year to see what Samba and Mark Kerr have been up to. Should we do that?
Let's do it.
Okay, final save point then for us to jump in this simulation. That is because we've got some players that are basically about to retire here. Tom Madeira is literally retiring. He retires in about... tomorrow, the day before Tom Madeira's retirement. Sigporsson's also a free agent now at 35. Mark Kerr still at Arsenal doing his thing. Sigalko's now at Angers in Ligue 1, so he's basically retired. And then Cherno Samba is 28. He's the one that probably has more of a career left, but we are going to leave it here, I think. Let's start with Cherno Samba because it looks like things are happening in his career at this point. He's wanted. He's asking to leave. Doesn't look like he's all that happy at Brentford, does it?
He's done with Brentford.
Yeah, it looks like he's done probably because, although he did play a lot of games last year. He played 25 times, got 7 goals. He is He wants to move to a bigger club. So he's asking. He actually wants to make that big move. He's wanted by Newcastle and Wolves. I'm not really sure that's maybe who he was angling for, but yeah, it looks like he wants to make that next jump. He looks like a great player to me, but he's got extremely poor morale and maybe stalling a little bit because of being unhappy.
It seems like it, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, maybe we'll never know really if he would recapture some of his form or become the Cherno Samba we know he could. Or would he become the Cherno Samba that was kind of in real life, which didn't really reach those heights, did he? Let's go to Mark Kerr next, our favourite Scotsman, our favourite Scottish striker, who's still...
Arsenal legend.
Arsenal legend. Is he actually listed as a legend or a favoured personnel in there? Because if he's not, I actually reckon it's just bugged and it's not updated it rather than him not being a legend. I can't see him.
Yeah.
That tells me that he probably would be surely at this stage, wouldn't he?
He should.
278 games, 76 goals. That's a really good return for what is supposed to be a midfielder. But he's clearly playing as a striker, isn't he? I'm going to check that actually on the tactics. He's played. It doesn't show me because he's got. I think it's where we are. It's gone on to the next season now, so it won't tell me. But I assume he's been playing striker because he's got 14 goals in the last season.
In 28, yeah.
Yeah, he's a 1 in 2 striker these days, even at the age of 32. Legend, I think.
Definitely quite prolific as well as a striker.
Yeah. Okay. Well done to Mark Kerr. He's going to stay at Arsenal, I assume, for the rest of his career from this point. He seems very happy there. They've listed him as not for sale. Arsenal legend through and through. Let's have a look at Andre Sigporsson next, who is now a free transfer after leaving and, securing the bag in Saudi Arabia. 2 really good seasons there, actually. Look at the goal scoring record in that final season.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, 26 in 47. Now a free agent. No one seems to want him, so maybe he might be about to retire. Although someone should sign him because he's not exactly bad as a 35-year-old, is he?
I would pick him up for 1 season, most definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Although maybe he wants quite a big wage, having what he was on. Yeah. Let's go to Sigalko, and then finally we'll finish up with... Have we looked at Tomadera yet? I'm not sure we did. Let's finish up. Let's go have a look at Sigalko, who is still playing in France, scoring some goals. He's got 10 in 31. This is basically what we just said. This is picking him up for a season, isn't it? That's what they've done with Sigalko there. He's not on terribly big wages either. He has scored goals for them. Nice little move for him, I think. Sigalko playing in France. I assume Angers have not torn it up particularly. They finished 14th. Fair enough, Sigalko. And that leads us finally to Tomadera, who is about to retire. He's still at Leipzig. He spent his entire career there, and he must definitely be a legend there. He's 163 goals in 355 games. Won the Bundesliga countless times. Definitely in the twilight of his career now. He's got 9 acceleration. He's legendary in his media description. He's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah, and 14 goals in 28 in his most recent season. He still got it. He's
still got it, although he's going to go and ride off into the sunset now. Happy with his 250k a week that he's been earning most recently. That's been fun. I feel like we could go and do this with so many different players and just to see how they do in FM24. It's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, you couldn't have called all this. I mean, no. I didn't know what I exactly expected out of these, but you couldn't have called Mark Kerr becoming a striker and stuff like that.
No, I think if you were to guess, I probably would have just guessed that they would have all become like amazing Barcelona, Real Madrid strikers scoring 50 goals a season. They didn't, did they?
Nope.
Maybe that's down to the ages that they were, and maybe because of the way that their attributes were set up because of those old games with those gaps in them. That's maybe held them back a little bit, do you reckon?
Probably, yeah. And apparently loyalty as well for a couple of these.
Yeah.
Must have been quite high.
Yeah, and except for Sigporsson, who just chased the money for his entire career. But yeah,
did well.
He did do very well. We will leave it there for today. A big thank you to you, Mad Scientist FM, my good friend. I just want to give you a chance as well to talk people through. I'm sure you are right in the midst of creating a new retro database right now. What are you up to? What are you creating? And how's it going?
First of all, thank you for having me, Clayts. It's been a pleasure. I love experiments like this. Brilliant idea you had. with this. And yeah, I'm working on a 1994-95 database for the moment. It was initially planned for FM25, but with the delay, we're pushing the release, so we will release it for FM24 hopefully within the next couple of months. So yeah, that's gonna be fun, going to relive the World Cup 1994 and all the legends from the past.
Love it. Love it. Guys, please do make sure you go and check out Mad's stuff. There is a link to all of his channels and his Twitter and everything like that in the description of today's video. I'll pin it in a comment as well. Go and show him all the love because, as I say, legend, the authority when it comes to retro stuff. Every time he releases a new database, I do a video on it because I want to jump in and get nostalgic. You know how I love to do that on this channel as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Leave a like on the video because it really helps, and leave me some comments. Who are you most surprised about out of these Wonder Kids here? And maybe who do you want to see in a future video? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.